best engineers crave a challenge, but the question is, are you giving them one? If you want a team of innovators, it's time to challenge them like never before. And here is how. I will explain how I challenge engineers and managers in a healthy way that accelerates their growth and supports their career progression. And guess what? For you, this leads to high-performing teams. Most importantly, I will show you how to put this into action before your top talent decides to leave. And make sure to implement the last thing I will discuss, because if you don't, everything else could turn toxic. All of this is backed by over a decade of experience and research. Let's start with some science. Job characteristic theory is a set of principles created in 1975 by Hackman and Oldham to enrich jobs in organizational settings. To simplify, what is it about? Let's imagine a playground. The playground is our workplace and the kids are employees. So this theory is like a recipe for how to make that playground the most exciting, fun and rewarding place to be. It outlines 5 key ingredients for a motivating environment: skill variety, task identity, task significance, autonomy, and feedback. For this video, we will focus on 3 of them, so skill variety, task significance, and feedback, because this is the core factors for growth. So skill variety simply means like a lot of different things to do. In our case, the playground has swings, slides, monkey bars, and a climbing wall, so no one will be bored because there are so many different activities. Second is task significance, so it means making sure that the stuff people are doing has a big impact. So the kids are not just playing, they are teaching their friends how to climb to the top of the wall or building a giant sandcastle everyone can enjoy. So basically everything that makes a work meaningful and feels important. And third, feedback. That means, knowing how people are doing. So for example, the kids might say, "Your sandcastle is so cool, now I'm never bored," or "Try jumping at the start to reach the easier handhold and climb higher." This kind of feedback helps people improve and feel accomplished. So now let's think about this in the workplace context. Please pause this video and take a moment to reflect. What's a recent task that had the biggest impact on your growth? Please share it in the comments. I would love to hear your experience. Chances are that the task you thought of wasn't easy. It likely pushed you out of your comfort zone, wasn't part of your daily routine, and had a bigger impact than usual. That's skill variety and task significance in action. The same principles apply to the people you lead. They need exposure to new challenging tasks too, right? For example, asking an individual contributors to run Scrum ceremonies or create project architecture for the first time, or encouraging an aspiring manager to start running one-on-ones with graduates. These tasks are often significant as well as new. For example, compare responsibilities of senior engineers to regular engineers. Senior engineers' tasks typically carry greater weight and impact, and as you can see, this is no coincidence. So now that we understand why it's important to challenge ourselves and our teams with task variety and significance, let's talk about how to put this into action. So one way I like to do this is through delegation. Depending on someone's seniority, the task's complexity and impact will vary, but every task to spark growth needs to meet 3 criteria: be challenging, be abstract, and be stretching. For instance, one of my recent challenges was creating a technical debt prioritization framework aligned with my company's values. For a senior software engineer, a challenge might involve defining domain-driven design for a cross-platform project, or creating and architecting a monolith to microservice migration. So let's say we told our kids to climb to the top of the wall. We want them, to stretch, right, and have an ambitious task. But they fell down. So whose fault is that? unfortunately yours. And believe me, I know something about it as a father of a 7-year-old. The same applies in the workplace. To prevent failure, you need to implement safeguards, and you can do it in two different ways. First, through feedback. As mentioned in job characteristics theory, feedback is a way of providing information to the employee about how they are doing and what they can improve. It should be both positive and constructive. The basic framework for feedback is that it should be specific and focused on behavior. So, one, you can share your observation. Two, explain the impact. And three, finish with the suggestion. So, an example that shows that well is, hey Mark, your email to stakeholders was so long that it was hard for Anna and me to understand its main point. In the future, try adding an executive summary at the beginning. So, as you can see, it had all three components. But giving feedback isn't always that simple. For some reason, there are books about it. I also explained it in my other video about this topic, so you can check that out. But now, I would like to ask you for feedback. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button. It's feedback for me that I'm doing a good job, and if you think otherwise, please let me know through comments. I want to improve. While feedback is addressing past performance, coaching and mentoring helps steer future actions. I like how both were described by Laura Hogan in her book Resilient Management. You can think of coaching as asking thought-provoking questions and allowing your teammates and reports to introspect and solve problems themselves. So when you ask them about their current problem or struggle, just try to ask questions that allow them to figure out the best approach. For example, you can ask, what do you think is holding you back? Or what's stopping you from taking action? Mentoring is different, and it's a default for many managers. It's about you sharing your opinions and advice. So essentially telling them what you would do in that situation. Recently, I started asking my team, do you want my advice or do you want to figure it out yourself? And it's been an interesting experiment. I will share results in the future, so make sure you're subscribed. At the end of the day, we are all learning in this weird world of management, leadership, right? Believe me, I don't have all the answers, and I make many mistakes myself. The goal of both coaching and mentoring is the same: to ensure that your team knows you've got their back as they take on challenging tasks. If they stumble, you're there to support them. No ER visits needed, because if they fall, it won't be from the top of the wall. All of this delegation, feedback, coaching, mentoring fails without a safe environment. Without safety, challenges can create stress instead of growth. Employees may hide their struggles, misinterpret feedback as criticism, and crumble under pressure. If you want to create a high pressure, low stress environment, please watch this video for more actionable tips. And if you're ready to unlock your full potential as a leader, reach out for one-on-one coaching. I work exclusively with senior level ICs and those on the managerial path. Thanks, and I will see you next time.